What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Monday Night Raw review from LilBigMan Gaming. Um, this was a okay Monday Night Raw. Well, not okay. It was better than okay, but it was unusual. I called it. This was like how they said Night of Champions. Remember that pay per view? This was Night of the King of the Ring for real, because majority of the match the majority of the matches of tonight were King of the Ring matches or qualifying matches and tournament matches, and they actually that the Saudi Arabia. I didn't realize that the Saudi Arabia pay per view was the return of the King of the Ring pay per view. Like the King of the Ring pay per view is making a return as a pay per view, so that's cool. Kudos to Triple H for that, and that holds a special place to his heart as being a former King of the Ring. With that being said, let's get into it. So, JD, I mean, what JD? Uh, First, I want to say they did do it like you know, I would say a recap of what happened at Backlash. But then we get into the first segment of the night, which is Judgment Day, cutting the promo basically about what happened, apologizing to each other. Devin Priest saying that he apologized for the way he acted, and they're family, they are reconciled, and or whatnot. And they said they turned their attention to Finn Balor as he's going to dominate the King of the Ring and go from a prince to a king. And they said since Drew McIntyre, because I guess it was announced earlier on social media that he will be pulled from the King of the Ring tournament. What I may add, that's not the only changes to the King of the Ring tournament. Or the man's part of the King of the Ring, that's why I said the King of the Ring. Um, as you know, going into this was going to be a stacked card. It was going. I think they had announced like 8 matches that was supposed to happen on Monday Night Raw, and that would be another change that we would get. But more on that later. As Finn Balor was talking about having a bye since Finn Balor versus Drew was supposed to happen, and since Drew was unable to compete, he was going to get a bye into the next round of the tournament. But Adam Pearce will come out and inform him that he would not get a bye into the next round of the tournament, and that the next round, and that he will actually have to work for it. And since Drew McIntyre he confirmed that Drew McIntyre is unable to compete due to his fractured elbow, he will now be his replacement would be none other than main event Jey Uso, which is the first match of the night, which is the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. So like I said, Jey Uso versus Finn Balor. This was a good match between the two. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm glad they doing something with Jey Uso, because I did not. As you remember in my Backlash review, I don't know if it was the one I did for I don't know if it was the one I did or the one I did for Wrestling Pit podcast, but one of them I wonder what will be next with Jey Uso, and now we know he'll be having he'll be in this King of the Ring tournament, which he had a good match with Finn Balor. It was a very good one. I enjoyed it. It actually went a little bit longer than I thought it would. Drew McIntyre would make an appearance as an angry Scottishman who was upset that he would not be in the tournament. So he came out to distract Jey Uso, but Jey Uso would fight back and hit 2 spears on Finn Balor at different points to end up becoming the victor and moving on to the next round. Drew McIntyre tried to get in he looked like when he saw once the referee hit 3 and he saw that Jey actually won, you see that Drew's eyes got bigger and he got into the ring like almost like he was about to attack Jey, but Jey got out the ring. It's worth noting too, for some odd reason, since we were talking about Jey, that they played a clip. Like this was like later on in the show. They played a clip of basically here in Cleveland during the game 7. I think that was game 7 and get when we was playing against the Magics to see if we was gonna move on to the next round, doing like an intermission or a break. They played Jay Uso's music and the whole crowd was yeeting. So I'm like, I guess it's this. I mean, I guess they did it to show the, you know, because that's going to be the destination for SummerSlam. So I guess that's why they did it. But it was like, to me, it was random. Like, why did we play this clip? But anywho, um, let's see what would happen here. Oh yeah, then we would get a backstage segment. Like I said, that part with the clip happened later on in the show. So that part with the clip did not happen directly after the Jey Uso match. Uh, this is what happened directly after the Jey Uso match. Uh, Drew would get into an argument with Adam Pearce about being pulled from the King of the Ring tournament, where Adam Pearce explained that because Drew McIntyre just wanted to put some tape on and go out and compete anyway. But he said they probably would have let him do it had he not opened his mouth about being injured. And since he informed us since you did do that, I had to look into it. And they told me no. They said yes, he is injured, and no, he's not medically cleared to compete. Even though he was basically they said had Adam Pearce not did that, Drew would have been lying and forcing himself to compete to prove a point to CM Punk instead of being truthful that he was never medically cleared. This would anger Drew until he's sick of this BS or he's sick of this craziness, and he left. To which and a fun communical thing, CM Punk pulled up right after he left. Like after he took off in his car, you still see his car leaving, and as CM Punk parked as coming out to park beside Adam Pearce, and he went and he told Adam Pearce to hear his music, and they had like a little laugh about him being late. And CM Punk will cut a promo on basically on this would be the main segment, which is CM Punk coming out to cut a promo, knowing that Drew McIntyre was at a red light, so we're not far from the arena. He want everybody to tweet at Drew McIntyre to let him know that he was at the arena. He also asked Pat McAfee to, and he also told a story about a story which is like basically a recap of his rivalry so far with Drew McIntyre. While he did this tonight to see if Drew McIntyre would come back. He basically came here to fight Drew McIntyre, but because Drew McIntyre never showed up, it was never no resolution to it. Like he just basically vowed that whenever he see Drew McIntyre, he was going to break his face, and we never got a resolution to it. Drew McIntyre never showed up, and nothing. This was the last of Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. Ricochet will cut a backstage promo about why he's going to win his King of the Ring, to which Braun Strowman also interrupted. But he didn't like interrupt. He just joined in saying that Ricochet is going to win. That he also explained why he helped against Jay with Jay with Logan Paul and them and Judgment Day, because he said he doesn't like bullies. Then we get the second match of the night, which is the Queen of the Ring first round match, which is Io Sky versus Natalya, which also was a good match. This was a good match between the two. I enjoyed it very much. There was no problems with it whatsoever. I think there was maybe one or two botches here, but otherwise it was a good match with Io Sky getting the victory over Natalya. Damage Control will cut a promo about running Monday Night Raw again, and eventually setting their sights on Becky Lynch and informing the world that Dakota Kai will be taking Asuka's spot in the Queen of the Ring tournament, which would be the second change of the night, being that the reveal that Asuka is injured. And she really is. I think they announced earlier in the day that Asuka was injured, and then they addressed it on TV. But she really is injured and out on injury. She joins the mini list of people who's on the injured list. And then they're gonna run the tournament and set their sights on Becky Lynch. We get the third match, which is another King of the Ring tournament, with his Ilya Dragunov versus Ricochet, and this was, bro, it's tied for the main event, and you'll know what the main event is later on. But this was a great match, like this. Wow, Ilya and Ricochet worked well together. This was very great. There were near falls after near falls. This match went about 15, 20 minutes, and it was near fall after near fall. I love that the crowd, for the most part, throughout this show, the crowd was very enjoyous to have because they made some of the matches better. But it felt like they were trying to compete with the overseas crowd. But anywho, Ilya Dragunov and Ricochet tore the house down, and it was like at plenty of times Ricochet looked like he could have had it, and that was the most important part to me, that they made Ricochet look strong here, but Ilya Dragunov would take the victory. Um, then Sheamus would cut a promo about him having another banger with Gunther, and that he was going to finally beat Gunther and advance to the, to become a 2-time King of the Ring. Um, then we get the fourth match, which is another Queen of the Ring tournament qualifier, or I said not qualifier, but King of the Ring, another Queen of the Ring match, first round match, which is Zoe Stark versus Ivy Niles, and this was a okay one. I think this was the only match I could say was okay. And that was not good or great. It was okay. There was a lot of botches in this match, a lot more than the Io and Natalia one. Yeah, but this was okay. It wasn't bad. It was okay, but it was a nice showing for both Zoe Stark and Ivy. For the most part, I enjoyed it. I could see a bright future for Ivy and Zoe Stark. But Zoe Stark would get the victory, and she will move on to the next round. Um, then we got a funny backstage promo uh, with Miz and R-Truth, with them having like a funny comedy thing. I guess it was like an NCAA coach for basketball that Truth tried to book a match with. But what they had to, with them commonly have to tell R-Truth that they can't have a match with a basketball team. And then Braun Breaker, after they left, Braun Breaker would show up and demand Adam Pearce tell him why he wasn't a part of the King of the Ring tournament. Um, then we got Judgment Day backstage, where backstage in their little clubhouse, where Finn Balor just angry or said that he didn't get the job done against Jey Uso, that he felt like this has been happening lately. With them telling him not to worry about it, that they fall, but they always will rise. And then Dominic Mysterio will show up with Carlito, who basically asking Judgment Day to help him with the NWO, with the LWO, and that what happened last year in Puerto Rico is word on the bridge now, and that he wants you scratch my back and I scratch yours, because they have some problems, some people that Carlito can help them with, and he helped them with LWO, and he asked them to think about it. To which Devin Priest said they'll think about it and ask Dominic to get him out of here. Then we get to the fifth match, which is Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed. This is the only match of the night that was not a King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring first round match. This was just a regular match between the two because of what happened last week. Oddly enough, this is the only match that did not have a cohesive finish either. This didn't have an actual finish. This was a DQ finish match. Though it was a good match for the most part. I did like that Northern Lights pin or German suplex that Chad did on Bronson Reed, but ultimately Sami Zayn would get involved to cause the disqualification, which caused them to get to a brawl, which ended with Bronson Reed laying both Chad Gable and Sami Zayn out. The camera will follow Bronson Reed from the ring, from the ramp to the back, where he's confronted by Adam Pearce, and he told Adam Pearce, basically scolding him, saying, "What's his excuse for not being able to control himself?" Like, because he knows Sami Zayn gonna have an excuse, but he was like, "What's his excuse? Y'all can't seem to control yourself, or do this and do that." And Bronson Reed told him, like, "You want control, you want order and control, then you know what you do, and give me a championship, Intercontinental Championship match." Um, this will give us to the Gunther promo where he basically was doing the same thing. He said he don't care about having bangers. He just care about becoming the king of the ring and beating Samans. Then we'll get to a Becky Lynch promo, which is the main segment. Um, that Gunther promo was like a backstage promo. We'll get to Becky Lynch promo where it was like an odd promo because it was like they mostly discussed about her what she wore at the Indy 500s, and then they just talked about the new prospects and stuff like that, and she named like all the people she that she can't wait to face and stuff like that. But then she would get interrupted by Liv Morgan, who basically scolded her for not mentioning her, and that she's tired of the lack of respect that she gets around here, and that she reminds me that she's a former women's champion, and that she deserves respect. She tired of not getting respect, especially from Becky, um, and she demand that she get her championship match that Becky promised. And Becky said that you never let me finish from last week, that you would get your championship match at the Queen of the Ring tournament, at the Queen of the Ring or the King, the King and Queen of the Ring pay per view. They were getting interrupted by Damage Control, who basically said they was coming out to fulfill that promise of taking out Becky. Um, they would surround the ring a lot like almost like the Shield, to with Becky and Liv going back to back, but Liv cemented, continuing her descent into a heel territory. Um, would basically dip out the ring, say it's not her problem, but she would get saved by Lara Valkyria, because the next match, that she would help Becky fight out the damage control, because the next match is actually a Queen of the Ring. No, before we get that, that's when we got Sami Zayn talking about having a personal issue with Chad Gable, or a professional issue with Bronson Reed, and that the only way to settle it is that Saudi Arabia, the King and Queen of the Ring tournament, where he would defend the title in a triple threat match against both Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. Um, then we would get the sixth match, which is a Queen of the Ring first round match, which is Lyra Valkyria versus Dakota Kai. Um, this was a good one. This was a good one, a good showing for both Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria. I enjoyed it a lot too. Like, I actually really did. I enjoyed it. Like, I know I say that a lot because it was good. It was a good showing. Like, it's hard to put into words how to describe the match without like dragging this video on. But let's just say it was good showing for both, for the most part. But that finish at the end was a little weird. It was like she hit her finisher, Lyra hit her finisher with Dakota Kai, but it's like she kind of hit it soft. But anywho, she would get the victory over Dakota Kai and move on to the next round. And then we got a promo from Kofi Kingston, saying that because of what Gunther did, it was supposed to be a Xavier going on in the tournament to become a two-time King of the Ring and defend his crowd, but because of what Gunther and Kaiser did, he don't know when Woods would be back, but he would avenge Wood by moving on to face Gunther and winning the King of the Ring tournament for Xavier Woods. But to do so, he'll have to go up against and put down one of the greatest luchadors and wrestlers of all time, Rey Mysterio. You would notice that this was a stat card that was supposed to feature Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio and another Queen of the Ring tournament, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Then we get to the main event, which is Gunther versus Sheamus in the final match of the night, which is a King of the Ring first round match, and this was a banger after banger after banger after banger, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. This was a tie. This is I can't say who was better than what. It's like a tie. This match and Ilya versus Ricochet was like the best matches of the night, by far. And this was a good one. This lived up to the hype. Kaiser would get involved, unfortunately, attacking Sheamus. Sheamus would cause Sheamus to get hooked up in on the ropes, and then attacking his knee, giving something Gunther could take advantage of. But the referee would notice it and send eject Kaiser from the ring. But Gunther and Sheamus continue to have a banger. But Samus, I mean not Samus, but Gunther working on Samus' knee injury, thanks to Kaiser, we ended up getting the victory by submission, and they ended the show after that, with Gunther as the victor. Um, as you would know, there were supposed to be two more matches. There's supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be Zelina Vega versus which I'm calling Shayna Blazer, and then it was supposed to be Kofi versus Ray. Of Apparently, that's got moved to this Saturday at a live event. So this live event that's going to happen Saturday is going to get two matches that was supposed to be on Raw. So when we come back to Monday Night Raw next week, we already gonna have the winners of those two matches. I don't know. It was weird, but other than that, I'm going to give Monday Night Raw. It was definitely better than a 7. I want to say an 8.5. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that because it's saying it was a 9 is a lot, considering that the best, while everything was okay, the best two matches were. But I want to say 9. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Big ups, because that Ilya Dragunov match and this Gunther match made up just enough to get it past an 8.5. Because otherwise, I would have given it an 8.5 out of 10. But I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Big ups. But yeah, you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed my review, you know what to do. You hit this button right here for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed the video so much and want to support the show, you know what to do. Hit those buttons. As always, hit one of these videos for more of my amazing content. Don't go anywhere because I got more videos for you guys. Peace.